Y'all really got on this bird ass app Twitter and decided to share with the world that you do not just open your oven and put the bare pizza on the oven rack. And you are actually surprised that the shit goes through the rack. When's the meteor coming? Hey everybody, this is Mr. Fox of the I Refuse podcast. Boy, do I have some shit to say. I don't even know where to start, but I'll take it from the top. Start with the small stuff first. Georgia attorney went to Kandi's Blaze restaurant for the second time and ordered some things, cheeseburger and fries, a couple of drinks, and lo and behold, went to social media with his receipt to complain that he was charged $8 for ice. And of course, the natural consensus was that the shit must be made out of vibranium. Oh, they must be out their rabbit ass mind. Well, they charge $4 each ice cube. Now, the way the receipt reads is that they are referred to as rocks. And he was charged $8 for them, right? All in all, his total was roughly $73. And he decided in his social media post not to only mention this visit, but a previous visit where he was overcharged for drinks. Beyond the fact that it's a celebrity restaurant, what he failed to understand, I guess after he got his clout or before he decided to post it, is that you were actually being charged for the shot. It just reads like, and it just says rocks. It doesn't say rocks ice. It doesn't say ice $8. It just says the rocks. You're essentially being charged for the shots of Henny that you're asking for. But, critical thinking doesn't really normally apply to when you go to social media. But nevertheless, after he got his likes and everything, and more people were downing Kandi and Todd, they reached out to him, and he came back and didn't take the post down, kept it up, and just, I guess, amended it or added an addendum to it, saying, they reached out to me and they're going to fix their POS system. Two things I just absolutely refuse to do in life is go to an establishment, or if I find myself in any situation that doesn't go my way, or any situation in general, my first thought is not to go to social media and put that person on blast. I refuse to do it. Hence why the name I Refuse podcast. Because two wrongs don't make a right. Eye for an eye makes a person blind. All those cliches or whatever. It just is not a good feeling. And it's tacky as hell. It's very tacky as hell. Never mind the fact that this person is a Georgia attorney. For a while, having been in customer service before, I understand that, the restaurant is not going to appeal to everybody. Not everybody is going to like it. Oh, the food's too salty. Oh, they charging for ice. When that wasn't the case at all. People's taste buds different, but to get on Beyonce's internet and to do all that for what? And you were Georgia attorney? But it's funny because, during the course of his post after his second visit, he wanted to who he is as a person. Oh, I set aside $300 some dollars, and I make it a point to support black-owned businesses. But in this same post, you're kind of trashing a black-owned business. And I'm sure he probably left out a huge part that he probably didn't go to the restaurant first about it. before making the post, which would have been the first thing. But he just wanted to fan the flames of an already testy reputation as far as Kandi and Todd's restaurants go. And then, they were in some hot water as far as some food and safety violations. Only the Gang got a C rating, just minor stuff. But the thing about it is that a lot of people have an expectation that because you're a celebrity, you're well known on their TV all the time, that you should automatically know better. Besides the fact that, they haven't been in the restaurant business that long.
Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday.
But, people will do what they do. And then, tomorrow, Kenneth Petty's victim will be going on the reel to take control of the narrative regarding Nicki Minaj's husband.
I love good news. Love good news. I just love good news.
And it's very important that victims of abuse and assault take back the narrative, because mind you, and this has been exposed, this is fact, that they have been trying to pay off his victim, this woman, trying to coerce her into doubling down and backtracking off her statement, trying to threaten her, just all the craziest thing you can think of. And it makes me very sick. Of all the PR misfires and all the things attached to her through her association with this guy, like, this is insane. A, to still be married to him knowing his history. B, to have a child with him, marry him, and still be with him.
I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
And then you stick your neck out, brand, legacy, career, intel, to really get involved in the humiliation and the disregard of a victim of his. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for his victim to speak her truth on a huge platform. Because it's about time. And I know her stands are going to be in shambles. Because the way they rode for that girl the past 10 years or so, against Remy Ma, against Lil' Kim, against the narrative that people share of their experience of her behind the scenes. Can't wait. So she'll be Kenneth Petty's victim will be on the reel tomorrow. And I can't wait to see that. Despite, the Emmys having a very iconic lineup, categories of people of color and black people being nominees, not a single win. in the acting, supporting, or lead categories for people of color and black people. There was a governor's award given to the Deborah Allen, who honestly should have mantles upon mantles of Emmys in her house. They gave her a governor's award for career lifetime achievement, which, long overdue. When you think of Debbie Allen, the first thing that comes to mind is A Different World. For some of us, on top of that, extensive career in, trying not to say it like, every time I think of the word choreography, I think of Jocelyn mispronouncing it on Love and Hip Hop, or I think it was that fake cabaret show. But Deborah Allen, long, extensive choreography credits. She taught Paula Abdul how to dance, who then taught Janet how to perform and dance. There's fame, there's her acting and guest spots on Good Times, on A Different World. I believe she even did a couple on The Cosby Show. A wonderful, iconic producer, director, Broadway actress, the daughter of a poet, related to the Phylicia Rashad. Comes from a very musically inclined, talented family. Her brother Tex is a celebrated and accomplished pianist. And another brother, fun fact, also an actor. The role of, he was on A Different World. He's even in the credits of the first 4 or 5 seasons, I believe. Quincy Thompson, the character. If you think back, tall dude, had a mustache and glasses. Had a few lines. The episode where Jaleesa and Walter are the resident coordinator and the resident assistant, and Quincy had a girl under his bed. That's their brother. The guy that plays Quincy is their brother. I was today years old when I found that out. But yeah, back to Deborah Allen. Like, there's not enough I can say about that woman. Like, the way she's enriched my life as a creative, enriched my life as a viewer of A Different World, a stan of A Different World. Facts that I know about A Different World that a lot of people may have not picked up on. Like, for instance, not a lot of people, maybe they do now, but before didn't know that Jasmine Guy also had a recording career around the same time that she played Whitley Gilbert on A Different World. So the song Try Me from her album, which I have, plays in the background of one of the episodes of A Different World. The episode where she's in the pit and with the white fur coat, and this is during the arc of the show where she was trying to win Dwayne's affection back from Keanu. At some point, she realizes that she's kind of lost the battle at that point and is on her way out the door in her white coat. The song that's playing in the background is her song, Jasmine Guy's song. But, you know, aside from, you know, Deborah Allen winning, being given the governor's award, there really wasn't a whole lot to celebrate. Robin Thede got robbed. MJ Rodriguez from Pose got robbed. I was not an avid watcher of Pose, but Man, that show, amazing. Constantly got robbed every year for the past 3 years. A shame. Shout out to Michaela for winning for Best Writing for a Limited Series. Shout out to Jennifer Hudson for winning an Emmy. She's one step closer to becoming an EGOT. I'm praying that she gets a Tony for more Broadway work. I honestly think she should have got it for Chicago, and she should have damn sure got it for The Color Purple. If she does get a Tony within the next couple of years, she'll be the youngest EGOT. It's a rare breed. I believe Barbara Streisand is an EGOT. Whoopi Goldberg is an EGOT. I think Robin Williams was an EGOT. I'm not entirely sure. But shout out to Screamer for Hudson for winning an Emmy. But outside of that, once again, all white winners for the most part. Real Housewives of Potomac. It had all the makings of being another dry episode. The focus was Candace's music video and this tired husband storyline. I mean, I guess I'll take this over her doing another season of Sticky Notes and forced psychiatric sessions. And I say that as about as complimentary as I possibly can. A lot of that was forced, and a lot of that was not sincere. And I think, unfortunately, when it comes to Candace, a lot of people, the only reason why more people rally around Candace and for Candace is because of last season, because of that whole Petty tour that she did last season as a response to the Monique fallout, and I'm just kind of over it. It's gotten to the point to where they will justify how she is acting towards Ashley and how she carries herself with her husband. And, you know, people have actually gone or approached Chris on Twitter about it, especially after last Sunday's episode. That tense, borderline abusive exchange across the dinner table, as far as him not being there, him just communicating to her that he won't be there for 2 of the shots, right? You know, they came to him about, you know, not liking how she was talking to him and suggesting that he leave her, and he's like, you're telling me stuff I haven't already known for the past 7 years. I'm good. Which, that's a good look. Stand by your woman. I mean, if you can handle that, even though the look on your face and the amount of red to your pigmentation under those video camera lights says otherwise, have at it. But yeah, this is a lot of camera time for one song. I haven't seen this much camera time since Love and Hip Hop. Where, remember, like in earlier seasons where people would be like, there'd be all these shots of them in the studio, and then maybe like a 5-second playback after the reunion of the song. But it's not on Spotify, it's not on Apple Music. Candace has essentially carried this thing over to a second season. And you see a lot of the front end where it's just them talking about it. Then, this past Sunday's episode was essentially the video production day. Now, everybody came out to support, be in the background as promised. But it seemed like she couldn't move. She just couldn't do anything without some kind of conversation or some kind of phone call from him. And I was just like, time's a wasting. You want to get these shots, you might want to get on top of that. They only did the rehearsal. The rehearsal was shown the first half, in the first 15, 20 minutes of the hour. And I was just like, yeah, this is probably not going to look too good. Like, for all that, it honestly, in my opinion, looked like something I could have made with the audiovisual equipment from high school. But this is her storyline, right? God bless Miss Dorothy for turning it up into something interesting. For dropping the sidebar tea. When I tell you Mama Joyce ran so Miss Dorothy could fly, dropping the little tidbits implying that Chris quit his job, the restaurant's been closed, fanning the flames of the narrative that Chris is on Candace's coattails, right? Karen on this side saying in the confessional that she doesn't want any parts of this because, her and Candace are finally on somewhat decent terms. But then damn near wearing a groove into the concrete of the parking lot to get more tea from Miss Dorothy. Now, Mia, I goes for you, girl. I really goes up for you. You being the most successful housewife and one of the more stable marriages on the show, and bring some actual real concrete relatable content to the camera. What did you think was going to be the outcome of you tiptoeing over to Miss Dorothy and sticking your nose in the management business tea dynamic that is Chris being the manager, Candace being the client/artist? I mean, I'm totally here for it because I'm willing to bet that's what was the impetus for the salad tossing that's on the horizon in a future episode. Like, Miss Dorothy used to get on my nerves. The one season where, Candace and Chris were living in her house and she hit Candace in the face with the purse. I was like, the amount of gaslighting and the mind games, because Miss Dorothy is a doctor, psychologist. I say, golly,
what the fuck really going on right now?
I just do not like those kind of dynamics. But this right here, thank goodness she saved this dry ass episode. Her and Grace, Giselle's oldest daughter. Like, if I can get more of that side of Giselle with her daughters, teaching them how to drive, being a mom, doing things with the girls, not for at least 2 minutes, bring up Jamal Bryant in this fake ass relationship. I would love to see more of that. Teaching Grace how to drive. And blessed be, Grace saved the episode with an iconic line. When Giselle said to her, "Now you not taking this car to go pick up boys," and Grace, without batting an eye, said, "No, they'll be coming to pick me up. Period." Now that I'm here for that. And Grace is beat. Like, the makeup, the hair, the emotional intelligence, really growing up before our very eyes, and we love to see it. I want to see more of that with Giselle, Not this tired back and forth with Karen, and well, they're gonna have another powwow, the ladies, and it's gonna get sticky. But that's Housewives for you. There is always circling back, having these group powwows that just never go right. And then milquetoast Robin herself. You're about a big girl, and things are just not clicking upstairs for you as far as one's concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, any point in your relationship or any dynamic or situationship, whatever you want to call it, because, there are those of us that are in relationships, and there are those of us that are in relationships with single niggas. If at any point in whatever dynamic you want to call it, that you are coaxing or trying to get a supportive feeling or a thought or a response out of your mate to the point that you are like kind of whimpering and begging, just cut the cord. That was so cringy. That situation, that dynamic with Robin and Juan. Juan looking at his fingers and his nails. Robin talking about drop the whistle, Coach Dixon, and I checked out at that point. It's almost embarrassing. It's pretty much embarrassing at this point. Like, what's happening? I mean, we've already seen the mid-season trailer, and we kind of know where it's going at this point. Everything is ultimately leading up to Karen and Ray's renewal ceremony. Which, by the way, production is shady as shit for showing Karen and Wendy's candle situation back to back. And they're even shadier for continuing to show the exterior of Giselle's house, which literally looks like a built house where nothing matches. It's like having a hoopty, right? Where like one door is a different color than the rest of the car, but in this case, like all the doors are a different color. But it looks to me that like everything is leading up to Karen and Ray's vow renewal, while everybody else's relationship is just off the hook. And Ashley, do not be dismayed. The movie business that your husband is talking about is porn. Like, don't be dismayed. Like, never mind the fact that Michael Darby and retail business just do not mesh. Like, I did not forget about that failed Crocodile Dundee fungus fusion restaurant you guys tried to make happen in the DMV area. But now he wants to sit you down and talk about he wants to go into the movie business. When we have no receipts in the 5 or 6 seasons that this show has been on the air, it's showing that he knows what the hell he's doing. I mean, quiet as his cap, it sounds like to me he wants to do an OnlyFans and just tell you that it's the movie business. But, that's just my take. I was on the Potomac, kind of shaky at this point. Still, Mia's still my favorite in the lead. Wendy is not doing much, but it looks like she's finally getting somewhat of a backbone. This candle thing, poor thing doesn't have a business plan, only has a paragraph so far. It's like, you have all these degrees, and for what? Like, college, especially graduate school, is all about time management. And I would assume that project management was one of the courses in either undergrad, graduate, or graduate school. And with that, you should know. Like, just to have even just an outline or a simple one-page write-up as to the forecast of your business. Wendy going to have to come up with something, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it looks like they are not. That whole Eddie cheating, white woman side baby thing fell flat. They haven't talked about it, or it's not even in the mid-season trailer as having any kind of fruition to it. Housewives of Potomac still got it going on. You know, Nia is the front runner for me. And the way people are coming at her when she's addressing Candace and claiming colorism, and I'm just like, no. Candace literally stays on Ashley's head. She doesn't go that hard on Karen. She doesn't go that hard on Giselle. She doesn't go that hard on Robin. But Ashley, on her wide body, big forehead, all this kind of stuff. But the moment you talk about Candace's feet, it's colorism. Which tells me about people out there that like do the same shit that Candace does, is throw those stones, but can't handle it when the stone hits the glass house. And now it's this, and now it's that. No, it's you. No matter what you say or do, man, there's consequences to everything. And it's not even that deep. Throw some baby oil or some Cornhuskers lotion on them toes. Keep it pushing. Everything is not colorism. They try to do that with, they try to imply that with, like I said in the previous episode, the success and attention to Chloe's song over Normani's. When it's not colorism, it just comes down to great marketing and having a great team. But again, lack of critical thinking, right? Now tell me why y'all decided to get on this bird-ass app called Twitter and share with the world that you put a pizza, frozen pizza, fresh out the box, and put it on a bare oven rack to cook in the oven. And then proceed to show us a picture of the pizza going through the rack. What's the wait time on the media? Because I want out. Like, if Earth is a public transportation bus, I'm yelling from the back door at the bus driver, just open the back door. Doesn't matter whether or not the bus is in motion. Just open the fucking back door, because I want out. I want out. Y'all are raggedy. Y'all are so raggedy. Like, I'm very curious what the image for the month of September will be on that bingo card or calendar markup of 2021, where one story just takes the cake for the month and somebody takes a thumbnail of an image from that story and puts on the 12 month markup for 2021. I'm curious as hell to find out what will represent September, because it is we are in the final stretch of September, and I'm just about sick of y'all. Rest in peace to AJ Johnson, star of Friday. He's out from Friday. Did a couple of guest spots on TV shows to include Martin a couple of times. He was Shanae's boyfriend, and then he was on season 5 episode where Pam was the A&R at a record label. He was also in Dr. Dre's music video, I believe, for saying Keep Their Heads Ringing or It's Dre Day. He was Eazy-E on the side of the road. Aside from Friday, he was also in Babs. I know he's up there with Natalie Desselle at the moment. And he was supposed to be in Friday After Next, but he talked in great detail with Vlad about that situation and how he wasn't really paid much for Friday. Very funny guy. And not to be confused with the other AJ Johnson, the actress from House Party and Baby Boy. She goes by AJ Johnson, which is short in her case for Adrian Joy. But the really sad part, aside from him passing, is that he passed away someplace else, and he was by himself. And he passed away 2 weeks prior to the announcement. So badly decomposed that the hospital took 2 weeks to identify him. They had to use dental records. To die in that way, alone, it's very sad. Also, rest in peace to Sarah Dash, 1/3 of the iconic group LaBelle, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells. She died yesterday. She was just on stage with Patti LaBelle 2 days ago. Saturday. And she passed away at the age of 76 on yesterday. Amazing singer, prolific session singer, beautiful soprano. There's not enough I can say about LaBelle, outside of Patti LaBelle, who's amazing in her own right. Very sad and sudden, I believe. I want to say that maybe it was a case of where she was going through something privately and not a lot was shared during her lifetime in her later years. Hopefully it's not what I think it is. But sad nonetheless. I'm convinced that the people that don't trust the vaccine are the same ones that were students in class that had their tests handed back to them face down. How you don't trust a vaccine, but you got a BBL? That's not FDA approved. This can't be y'all queen. So this is the I Refuse podcast. I'm Mr. Fox. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms. We are everywhere. Try to do this every week. We're on Patreon too, but we're going to try to build up our audience over here on YouTube first. There are some episodes on Patreon. Just trying that shit out for a while. Also on Twitter, Instagram. We're going to do season 3 on streaming soon. There's no date yet, but yeah. So, catch y'all later. And y'all, got news today. I know you've seen it. The Fugees are reuniting for a 25th anniversary tour of The Score. All three original members. That includes Miss Lauryn Hill. I'm excited, but also a little nervous. I'm glad that she's on King's Disease too, but I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Hopefully, one can hope it'll lead to more music from Lauryn Hill and from the Fugees. I know they tried to do a reunion tour or reunion back in 2005, but it didn't go too well. I just hope at our big age that we could just put our differences aside, i.e. Lauren and Wyclef, and get back to the music. Show these new generation of kids like what rap music is. There are different sides and different lanes and different levels to hip hop. Like this is iconic, but I'm very worried. I mean, is Lauryn Hill going to show up on all the dates? Is she going to be late? Is she, hopefully her dynamic with Nas on the album, hopefully they had a heart-to-heart. I don't know, like, we are literally out here in our 40s just with the foolishness, and I just hope her energies and the stars align, that we get a successful Fugees tour, we get some Fugees material, we actually get a sophomore studio album from Lauryn Hill. As you know, Unplugged, for all intents and purposes, didn't soar as well as it should have. I'm sure in retrospect the reviews have gotten better, but at the time people were just mystified. But there are a lot of behind the scenes with artists and record labels in the industry that a lot of people are just don't have the wherewithal to speak on. And I'm sure a huge reason as to why there will probably never be a sophomore album follow-up to Miseducation is the legalities. And I'm pretty sure the suit from the ARC nixed that entirely. I mean, she can't even perform the original version or the album versions of the songs from her debut album. Every time she goes out on tour, she has to do a remix or an alteration. Now, you can only do the Prince thing if you're Prince. But nevertheless, we'll see how this goes. I mean, if Tribe Called Quest can reunite one last time, do an album, double album of that, there may just be hope for the Fugees. Huge part of me is excited because I love the Fugees. I love Lauryn Hill. But another side of me is like, the history, the track record is just not the best. So we shall see. Oh, and to answer your question about whether or not Drake is bigger than Michael Jackson, until Drake goes to a hotel room, I don't care if it's Home 1, Holiday Inn, hell, it could be the Super 8. And outside of his window looks like a live concert, he will never be bigger than Michael Jackson.